It's a Bitcoin podcast. The only one that's making your money is you. Listen to the Bitcoin podcast. So hold on and listen to the Bitcoin podcast.
Hold on.
Look at Alicia with the animations happening going on.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's good.
Little intro swipes happening.
Mm-hmm. Today's show is brought to you by Manscaped. We're doing it right at the top of the show, like Joe Rogan. We have 25 minutes of commercials.
25 minutes of commercials.
So 20% off. Go to manscaped.com. TBP and smooth. Shave your nuts, baby. So if you notice, you see that it's coddling balls is what that is. There's angel wings on balls.
There's no way that they made that with that not the intention. That's 100% the intention.
Yeah, and
I can't imagine a world where like they accidentally made that.
You know, it's about taking care of your testicles, young men out there, and old men. Well, young men mainly. Old men tend to not care, but charges wirelessly using magnets, and we got a power button
Using
here.
magnets. Okay.
And using you got a light so you can see
That's all it does. It just does.
the hair. See,
Is that the one we're giving away?
No, it's not. I haven't touched my body with this one.
We're gonna give one of these away to somebody. I don't know how or why, but we have something to give away, and we'll do that.
If the one that you receive has
I think you need to be a
patron.
patron. I feel like you need to be a patron.
Of course, you need to be a patron
to be like eligible to get it. So that's a thing you need to go do.
Of course, or buy our NFT.
Oh yeah, buy one of the NFTs that I've made.
But we didn't put them on
find a way
yet.
to sell them
because
they're all on XDAI because it costs $40 million to put it on Ethereum right now.
Yeah, it's like go where the people are. Well, not everyone in Ether is balling out of control,
Dude.
So
It is absurd. I have 3 NFTs made so far. We'll make another one today.
Yeah, this is gonna be dope. You know what we should try? Corey, we were talking about this, Jessie and Alicia. Jessie, your camera is nice, bro. I feel like I'm seeing straight into your soul.
In there.
So
this is gonna get replaced.
We didn't even introduce ourselves. Sorry, I'm the host that talks first. My name is Dimitri.
I'm Corey. I talk second.
My name is Jessie, and I'm third.
That's right.
Sometimes
like
talk
Power
first. I don't know.
Rangers.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Huh?
So I sometimes talk first.
Oh,
Nifty.ink.
Nifty.ink.
I kept telling people it's nifty.art.
If you look, if I were a Power Ranger, I wouldn't have a choice but to be the Black Ranger. But what would you be, Jessie?
I'd be. I don't know, dude. I never watched Power Rangers.
He's too young, man.
I'm not too young, but like I just never watched.
He's way too young. He's like 13 years old.
Oh my god.
Well, Corey, what would you be? The Green Ranger, Blue Ranger?
I'd go blue.
Blue?
Yeah,
You know what? I'd take the world, flip it on its head. I'd be the White Ranger. Not gonna lie.
I agree. Do
Be a
that.
good White Ranger. I think
Wasn't he like the one that came in extra that used to be bad and then turned good?
Absolutely. Came in as the Green Ranger, and the Moon Queen chick, the crazy lady, Frieza, I think her name is. She was like, "Hey, I got a Power Ranger of my own, and he's green." And they were like, "What the fuck, bro?" And so then they started fighting, right? And he kept losing over and over and over again. And then he finally turned into a good Green Ranger, and they were like, "Yo, this is dope." And then later on down the line, he was like, "Hey, I'm not green anymore. I'm the White Ranger, and I don't have a Godzilla. I got a tiger." And that's how that went. That's pretty much how writing goes for Power Rangers.
Who's the Gold Ranger? Was that the Green Ranger as well somehow?
Well, see, I think you're getting into different lore.
Oh, okay.
And straying away from the canon, my friend.
Oh, sorry.
So, sorry, I got chewed out the other day because I was talking about Star Wars, and I said main lore, and the guy said, "I believe the word you're looking for is canon," and I was like, "What?
Yo, yeah, that's
You
definitely the
fucking
right word.
nerd.
That's the right word for it.
Yeah. It's like, you fucking nerd. Anyways, excuse my language. I too am a nerd. That's why I can say it.
What do you want to talk about today? So we're taking it
Yeah.
easy today because Jesse has finally completed his
Yeah, man.
studying
attempt.
extravaganza and it's taken the MCAT. And now he has the weight lifted off his shoulders and he can play games and trade like a degenerate.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you guys what this man's gone through. No video games, no ejaculating,
Wow.
no caffeine.
I don't know about
I'm not-
okay.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves
No.
here.
I don't know about that. I don't know. No caffeine. He went straight monk status for a year. You should see what he built just to monitor his scheduling. Like, Jesse, one, I wish people knew what you went through. We don't even know what you went through. We just kind of asked you about it from time to time.
Yeah, I
But
post pictures.
I'm happy that you're at least turning a corner on that. But I feel like this is just the beginning, quite honestly. So,
Yeah, I think it is.
yeah. So
I want some of that. I want some of that crazy energy to come towards the podcast and the things that I want to see.
Yeah.
Full DGen Jesse. That's what I want to
Full
see.
DJ and Jesse.
I don't think the world can handle full DJ and Jesse, bro.
I think it's going to be a sight to behold.
It's like Akira. He'll start morphing into this giant amorphous blob monster, and then we're all fucked.
Jeez.
So, anyways, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about NFTs because that's all anyone can ever talk about all of a sudden. So, we want to come up with an NFT scheme as a show where, like, participants watching and listening to the show can create context-based NFTs about that show and then put them up on a platform where when they sell, money goes to our audience, right? And money goes to the participant. Yeah, I put it on a Miro board like 3 months ago. So, I think we should, Jess. I see what you're talking about there. So, like we can actually start to build this community that we know exists. Like, we got all these people in Slack that talk all the time and, they're hanging out. And then we can, like, do something that puts money back into the community's coffers and the community members' coffers, right? So I don't really know how to build that. It'd be dope if it existed. But, we'll keep thinking upon it. We'll ruminate, as you say.
Figure it out.
So, yeah, we should talk about it once it's actually going. It's a good call, Jess.
Agreed.
It's a good call. So, really the main things to talk about in crypto is going to be, of course, NFTs are still blowing up. Non-fungible tokens are blowing up. I think that they forever will. I think it's one of those cats out of the bag moments for crypto, for human society. And as systems like IPFS become more robust and Siacoin, Sia Network, as these decentralized storage systems, what is another one? Storage, become more robust and more widely used and easier to use, then the idea of digital scarcity can become more and more real. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions here. I don't know.
I saw I think I saw an article or something, or maybe I was on Alibaba, but somebody's unloading like all of Chia's, like, I guess, used hard drives. So somebody's selling like a
I
shit
saw
ton
that
of Chia hard drives.
I don't know where I saw that too. Like, someone is basically, but they're selling them as new. Right?
Yeah,
they're selling
them as
all of
new.
the used Chia hard drives
Yeah.
as new. Like the Chia market's like, I don't know. I guess people are tired of it. I don't know any of the story.
Yeah, I don't know
Other
either.
than somebody is selling used Chia hard drives as new.
Yeah.
Alicia put it in random, so good job, Alicia. Alicia, I don't know how you
That's
follow
awesome.
so much, Alicia, but you're a boss.
Hmm.
I spend all day looking at this stuff, and I still don't.
When we say Chia hard drive, is
Are
it
you-
a
oh,
brand?
Project.
Are you not?
Hard
Oh, you're not
drive.
aware of what Chia is? Chia is
Is BitTorrent's the
it's
founder of BitTorrent.
BitTorrent's. The founder of BitTorrent made a project called Chia,
Graham
which uses
Cohen.
proof of
Graham
basically
Cohen.
proof of
Time and space.
time and space. He uses hard drives, the space on hard drives, over a given period of time as the mining mechanism. So
You use like an
You can-
SSD to like
you use an SSD to provide a proof that you're taking up a specific amount of storage, which is a scarce resource, and that then provides through some type of, I don't know exactly how the proof works. Basically, the mechanism for mining and doing consensus, right? That's your stake, if you will, right?
You create these
Like-
things called plots with the SSD or with an NVMe, and then you transfer them to a hard drive, like a mechanical hard drive. That's what people have been doing, and the hard drives that are being sold are the mechanical hard drives.
So interesting to me how, like, because of cryptography, you can take any number and abstract it into something that, like, is a parameter of a hash, and then you can make proof. Like, I feel like that's what people are doing. They're just like, hey, there's a number that computers do. Let's just snag it, create some sort of cryptographic scheme, and we got proof of whatever that is, and then boom.
Yeah.
Why do you
depressing.
sound so depressing?
Mostly garbage. Like,
Yeah.
People are experimenting. It's like what happened was, what is happening currently is Bitcoin came onto the scene, introduced a new concept of what it means to take an external scarce resource and then turn it into a digital scarcity, that mainly energy, and then using the double SHA-256 hashing function in mining to then solve the mining problem. Use that as a way of taking energy in a fair way and distributing it into a digital scarce resource, right? That's what secures the network is energy doing mining. And then so that made the concept. And so now people are like, oh, that's what other scarce external resources exist in the world that we can maybe use to do this type of stuff. So Chia is an example of trying to use physical hard drive space to do the same thing. I'm pretty sure Filecoin is an alternative way of using proofs that require a tremendous amount of physical space to do the same thing. I'm not exactly sure how those two would compare, but then you have proof of stake, which is like, all right, so like if you look at Bitcoin or any proof of work mining operation network, it's saying I'm putting up front, I'm staking this much energy that I have per month at the opportunity to win at the chance of producing a block and then getting rewarded for it. And then the concept of pools came around and said, all right, well, like, that's not, you don't have a lot of guarantees on whether or not you're going to win. And especially like if you have a low percentage of hash power compared to the rest of the network, like the volatility of you winning and not winning is so high that it's not worth you doing. So let's all come together and we'll join all of our resources, all of our small resources into one single resource. And if any one of us gets the block, then we distribute the block rewards according to everyone who's contributed to the pool. That's where pools come from, right? Because that tries to like equalize the profitability of mining relative to your hash power. And so that you're literally putting up stake up front at the chance of getting money. And then pools help facilitate that being smoother than you maybe getting a full block and then never getting anything ever again for proof of work mining. All right, so now we have that. We have the idea of like external resources coming in, being used to putting up, like being staked up front, out external to the system to get some rewards. Then proof of stake came along. It's like, all right, let's just use the native currency itself. Let's just put the digital scarcity locked on the blockchain, and then that is now your weight of being a virtual miner, called a validator in proof of stake systems, to then perform consensus in some different way. And then that's how the network goes about figuring out who gets to add shit to the end of the blockchain and whether or not those things are valid. And now everyone is just trying to explore all the different ways in which you can do distributed consensus in these fair and open ways based on different ways of staking a resource so that you can, one, decide what's the weight distribution of who gets to have a vote on when these things go through, and what happens if you fuck up, you cheat the system. So with Bitcoin, like there is no way to punish someone who tries to cheat the system because the what you're putting at stake is external to the system. It's energy, but there's an opportunity cost that if what you do is seen as invalid to the network, they just ignore it. And so you've wasted all that energy to try to cheat the system. With proof of stake, they can say, oh, I know who you are. I'm taking all your money. because the what you're putting up at stake is internal to the system. And so
You're
now
really
we're
good
just
at
seeing a bunch of different
explaining
ways to play with
things.
this. What?
Really good at explaining things.
What I've been doing my whole life.
Yeah.
And so, like, when you see all these different projects, there's a few things that they're changing, right? And so, like, for one, like, as another point here, the blockchain itself, the data structure, the reason why it is the way it is for two reasons. One, you can see exactly when something's tampered with really, really quickly by only passing around a very small piece of data, which is the hash of the head block, right? Of the leading block. If that changes and it's different from what you expect it to be, you know something changed in that or anything in the past. Any single bit has changed. One transaction across the entire history has changed if that thing changes. So like that then allows you to do proof of work consensus. And so what you see with all these myriad of different networks across the whole thing of blockchain is iterations on a few different things. One is how can we change that data structure so that it can do a few different things and we're not constrained to how it works? Or how can we change the like weight distribution of assets, whether that be like a different external asset, external stake like chia, or like different sticks and carrots for the weighting distribution for proof of stake, meaning that like if you cheat, this is how you do it. This is what happens. Or the actual like distributed consensus, which is like this is the process we do to vote on who gets to add stuff to the blockchain. And so when you look at a new network, you ask that question, what are they changing? And why is it different? And what does it matter? And if it's not much, then yeah, money tree. Nailed it. If it's not much, then it's bullshit. Wait,
is that Alicia or you, D?
What?
Yeah, okay, it's Alicia.
Alicia.
So if you can't answer that question, that you're trying to buy something in there,
Yeah.
then you're gambling. At the very least, you're just throwing money at something and hoping it works. Right now, because of all the hype, it'll probably work. But in the long run, probably not.
I think I came up with a real quick experiment that could like, you know, that's fucked up.
Oh shit!
That's fucked up.
Got
No.
Ken.
I came up with a pretty quick experiment that kind of can express what you were just talking about, Corey.
Thanks. Have a day too, Ken.
Have a day,
You want to
Ken.
take a look?
Yeah. What are you?
Is that Ken Bozak?
Yeah, Ken Bozak. Watching the show.
Okay. Hello. I'm gonna try to set this up. See if I can set this up.
So what up?
Are we
I'm
just
trying to do a demonstration. We should just ask him to hop up in here.
Ken, are you in the Slack? If you're not,
he's not in the Slack anymore. But
no, you're not on the Slack
just
anymore.
add a comment on YouTube.
Here, I'll send him a link. I'll send him a link on Twitter.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to get this set up here in such a way that. All right, here we go. Share that.
What are you guys gonna have for lunch?
There's 3 something here. It's not lunch. It's
Okay,
4 o'clock.
Brenner. No, wait, lunch dinner. Dinner 1. First dinner.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So that all I did in these cells is put like a random integer between 1 and I think 1 trillion.
Okay.
All right. And so anytime you make any change in the spreadsheet, it's going to change those random numbers.
Right. You're trying to demonstrate like the.
Yeah. So I was trying to demonstrate what Corey was talking about. So like anytime you change anything, if I put a 1 here, it changes those random numbers. Right. If I put a 0 here, it's going to go to 10 different random numbers. Right. Anything that I change in this spreadsheet is going to change these 9 different random numbers. And I think it kind of touches on what Corey was talking about, how like, that's the beauty of hashing. That's the beauty of cryptography is if you make any change to the string, to the numbers, to whatever, you're then totally changing. It can no longer be that same hash, right? It changes the hash entirely.
Yeah. What's important to note there is that it's deterministic, meaning that whatever data you feed into it, the resultant hash, those like string of random numbers, will always be the same. But the moment you change anything in the input, it changes the resultant hash. And there's no way to guess from what you put into it to what it's going to be. So you can't know beforehand what the output of the function is going to be.
It's
But
very
once you
interesting.
do it, it's always the same. It's a 1-to-1 mapping.
Should we see how
Theoretically.
deterministic this is? All right, I just copied those cells. I'm gonna delete them and watch the random numbers go back. Let's see if this number stays the same.
Okay, yeah. 2690.
All right. Is this deterministic?
Nope.
Oh,
That is not deterministic.
interesting.
So it's probably taking something like time into account.
What function
So
did you
It's
use?
pulling in some
Uh,
form of randomness.
Random between
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Or-
usually that uses system clock.
Yeah,
system
so
clock.
it's taking in
Yeah.
some form of randomness or additional change outside of what you're doing here to determine what the random is.
Okay. Experiment over. Enough of me being Bill Nye the Science Guy. Enough for that for you guys. That is what it is. So, why did we even get onto that subject?
So we're
I don't know.
talking
You
about.
wanted to. You talking about the whole thing?
Yeah. You started talking about.
How did I start talking about staking and differences in crypto and different projects?
We're talking about blockchains that store NFT data.
Oh, you
right?
asked about
Talking
Chia and what it was.
Yeah.
There we go.
And then you started explaining like Bitcoin's mechanism of proof of work.
I think
It's
that
hard
like
to understand what those differences are if you can't understand like how proof of work works and then like
I
how
really-
proof of stake works.
wish Kim Bozak would hop in here real quick. I feel like we need to have an impromptu catch-up session.
I think it's episode
forever.
100. Was it episode 100 that we got the tattoo live?
It was episode.
Dude
100.
has this logo tattooed on his bicep.
Oh, I think
We
you say
did-
butt
that we
cheek.
did no his bicep like here. And we did it live. Like he was getting it live on episode 100.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now he's the NFT king. So if anybody wants to know this, you can go Kim Bozak, Google Kim Bozak. I'm 1,000% sure you'll get exactly the right Kim Bozak.
Oh, he's out right now. He can't join.
But he pretty much predicted the onslaught of NFTs being popular since like 2016. He's been on the NFT kick, and he's been buying and selling NFTs, creating NFTs, not mostly on wax, but a lot of it on wax. He could be considered easily, arguably, the NFT king of crypto, the visible king. The ones that are invisible are probably laundering money. But Ken is just
his Twitter profile is bro, the CEO of NFTs.
So, I mean, it's arguably true. Like I don't know a louder voice in crypto that said like, "Hey, NFTs are the shit. They're gonna be the shit. You should buy them. You should hold them. You should love them. They're gonna be interoperable with different NFT platforms, games." I mean, he's just really been all in on NFTs.
I'd like to talk to him because I've heard from different NFT traders that like this NFT collection that I'm currently trading is like super illiquid. But I wonder if it's a function of the price that it's currently at versus it just not being maybe like a commonly traded NFT.
I think there's a lot of things to factor in, but I think it's
I would imagine it's a liquid. Like there's a lot of things that are like the pool of people trading these things that I think is relatively small, especially for some niche collections, right?
Like a few thousand people, you think?
I would say it's less than that.
Less than that.
I don't know. That's a good question. Like we should.
That is a
I want to
good
bring
question.
OpenSea on. We should bring OpenSea on. I think
That would be nice.
they mentioned wanting to come on. And
That's
a
probably
question
in-
that would be interesting
Yeah.
because like, they'd at least have like a narrow perspective, a probably broad perspective of how liquid these pools are because they operate probably the largest NFT marketplace in existence.
Yeah.
It's so this is the way I've been trying to make sense of it in my head, Jesse, other than batting everything down as money laundering and keeping it moving. And that is, if you would liken collectibles, right? Famous collectibles that you know of, but then just make it global. You're talking about a slightly larger population of people and a way, way, way larger diversity of type of collectibles, right? So like you got baseball cards, cool, but baseball was really only popular, and the onset of baseball was really only popular in the States, and really only popular to dudes, right? So then you've got like, and at that point, baseball cards are only popular to like people of a certain age in a certain time period in America. So you take that population, you whittle it way down, right? Now talk about something that's like a global thing, and it's so diverse. We could be liking paintings of squiggly lines or paintings of fractals. I saw the fractile ones were really nice. I was like, man, that might be something.
Fractals.
Fractals. Sorry, I've mixed fractal and tactile for some
I
reason.
know.
That could be a thing though, like a fractile.
I think
artwork.
that's the business name. You just made up a business name.
Fractile? Yeah. Hey,
For
don't you
sure,
fucking
100%.
steal it. NFT this sound. It's my shit. It's my idea. I'm tired of giving ideas out for free. Anyways, Fractal, the one that was like fractals of like neon looking
You guys want
icons.
to try trading NFTs like live?
I mean, we can. A lot of people are doing. There's somebody who turned they went from 3 ETH to 850 ETH trading NFTs in a month.
You know, if we tried trading and then tried trading NFTs just to like see how difficult or easy it is, just to kind of like.
I don't think
trade live though. I feel like that's not one of those things you're like you buy it and sell it and make money immediately within an hour.
I guess we'd have to like look at what is the most liquid NFT collection, right? Type.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's say like you can see how often an NFT gets traded, I think, right? So
yeah, I think OpenSea has the history of all things that have happened to that thing.
So we can look at something that's been traded quite a bit and like buy it.
You could probably sort by like previously purchased.
Yeah, we should try that. I wonder if they're expensive. Kind of curious now.
Everything's expensive on current gas prices aren't too bad. They're 161 it looks like for Ethereum.
Do you pay the gas prices to transact on OpenSea, or do they like
100%.
subsidize it? Oh shit!
100%.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, look,
you pay more. You pay more because they take a fee.
Oh, okay. Trading history. All right, I'm trying to like sort through the history of most frequently traded.
I checked out my dog.
Oh. So in the interview, yeah, tell them this. I want to hear the story of this. So we for this episode, I don't know if we have a clip, Alicia, but like we interviewed Ubitquity again. Nathan Wozniak. We've had them on multiple times. This was their sixth time. And in the middle of the interview, take it away. You can do it.
It's a very short story. My dog got diarrhea right next to me in the middle of the interview. And like my dog has like a little like kennel with a nice pillow in there, and he was chilling. He usually chills and just watches me do human shit while I'm in my office. And then out of the blue, I just could not breathe because it was like the most potent smell I've ever smelled in my life. And I looked over and he was looking at me like, bro, I am so sorry. I don't know what it is. Must have been the popcorn you gave me, but oh God. And there was just shit everywhere and it was embarrassing.
You held it together. You held it together quite nicely for the interview.
Nobody knew what I was going through except for me. And like eventually I just couldn't take it anymore. I was like, I've got to take care of this. This is so bad. But you know, my hat's off to everyone for being real professional about it. I was like, oh, I gotta take care of this shit. Literally. But yeah, that's behind the scenes. That's what happens in podcasting, baby. For all you people trying to get up here.
The dirty back end.
Yeah, we got to try to get in this podcasting game. You got to juggle some shit sometimes, you know? So anyways, what I need help with is understanding like this scenario right here. Like I buy a house.
Yeah.
And I think it's dope, right? I've got the title and I'm happy about it. I frame it, put it in my office. I'm like, this is it. This is my home. And that's the title. And then somebody knocks on my door and they're like, hey, are you in this house? And I'm like, yes, because it is my home. And they're like, well, it's mine. Look at my Coinbase wallet. I have the title digitally and this is my house. And I'm like, well, fuck you. And I close the door to my house and I go back in my home. Like, how do we resolve that conversation? Because that's going to be a real conversation.
Yeah,
Right,
no, no.
like-
So you're right. So most laws are written it's called basically it's called constructive notice. Notice that is given to the world when you record your deed in the county in which the property is located. So most states' laws, in order for you to have a superior claim, ownership rights to title to your to your home, you have to record your interest in the county in which the property is located. So that's pretty much across the board in every state. So there is no state law that says you can give notice of your ownership rights by recording it onto a blockchain. So that would be secondary notification or evidence, which does nothing in the court of law. So say for example, someone gave you a deed and you just held on to it. I mean, that's legal. You can legally do that. So if someone hands you a deed, says, I'm giving you title to this house, you accept the deed, you don't record it, you own it, you don't record it. And then that same person can then give another deed to somebody else, and then they didn't know about your claim. They go and record that deed. Well, they would have superior rights over you because they recorded their interest prior to
claim fraud or something like in New York. That's predominant.
I mean, they have obviously a cause of action against the seller. But as far as who owns the property, it's typically the one who either records first or and gives notice without any prior knowledge of the other transfer. But you have that's why title companies exist, is because they understand these laws, and they undertake all the due diligence to make sure that deed gets recorded on your behalf, and then you get title to the property. So before even blockchain existed, this is how it all worked. People had this misunderstanding that blockchain was going to solve the issue of having title insurance at all. They said, we're not going to need it because we're going to look how Bitcoin is created. We can see the Genesis block. We can trace every transaction from the Genesis block up to now, and we can go back. We can see all those transfers, and we know it's secure. You don't have to question it. And so they were trying to adopt that same principle in this industry. But at the end of the day, our laws are written in a way that don't accommodate for that. So unless it gets changed in some way, we're still subject to the old rules and the old way of doing business when it comes to real estate. But that's not. I mean, that's really not what Ubitquity is trying to solve with Smart Escrow. What Ubitquity is trying to solve with Smart Escrow is the issue of when you purchase real estate, rather than having and getting back to what I had said before, when people talk about buying real estate with Bitcoin, what they have to do, because title insurance and escrow are kind of this necessary evils that you have to kind of undertake in order to get clear title to the property. Well, title companies and escrow companies won't accept cryptocurrency as a medium of exchange. You as the parties can agree to contract for that, but title companies are going to say, we're not going to accept it. We're going to want you to convert that crypto into fiat dollars in order to settle this transaction in the traditional way, because they have to pay existing lien holders, and most existing lien holders aren't going to want to accept crypto. They have to pay taxes. Taxing authorities aren't going to want to accept cryptocurrency.
Not yet.
That's why we're creating this. So the title industry is a very slow moving ship when it comes to adopting technology. I've been in this industry for almost 28 years.
Yo.
So that interview, when we air the full one and you get an idea, is about taking. Well, escrow was the product, and they're essentially very slowly and trying to be as effective as possible, help put real estate and land on the blockchain, on Bitcoin blockchain and Ethereum blockchain.
Well, they were. Now I think they pivoted away from that and are trying to grease the wheels of the back-end infrastructure for facilitating people buying these properties with crypto.
Yeah. At the end of the day, what I think Vinay Gupta is on to is that there's got to be some sort of legal body that puts its holy blessing on a blockchain.
I mean,
in order.
that's what he said when you asked him the question about like, how do we solve the discrepancy between my physical deed or title that I have and someone saying they have a digital one on their phone.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, like for something like that, which is entrenched in like jurisdictional bureaucracy, because it's real estate, right? It's land, it doesn't move. And so whatever jurisdiction that is has some governing body that has some record of who owns what, right? They have a ledger of who owns what, and there's a process of changing that ledger. That whole process is not a blockchain. It's standard old politics and bureaucracy, right? Getting there is forever away. But what can happen is that like they can like a given jurisdiction can at least like approve and acknowledge the registration of these things on a blockchain as ownership. And that's probably the first step. But like at the end, but like every jurisdiction has to approve on something for their own, because they all have their own ability to decide these. I don't know like how much oversight the federal government has over mandating a specific technology for these types of things, or like, you know what I mean, like how like cross jurisdictional rules operate for something like title transfers. So depending upon how differentiated that is across the different states and jurisdictions and counties or whatever, means that there's a difference in people coming to the conclusion of what they think is the valid source. Now, blockchain technology clearly makes that process more efficient and cheaper and auditable and so on and so forth, because it digitizes it and has a process of doing all those types of things, versus like where all the bureaucracy that today comes from, which is people putting papers in file cabinets and showing up to the deed office, right? All of that stuff came from that old non-digital stuff, because we've been trading land since the dawn of human time. So it'll take a while. So I think what they're doing is just trying to grease the wheels to get people to start adopting this stuff a little faster, as well as allowing people who've made money to buy this stuff with Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in general.
Do you think that there's wash trading in NFTs, like by NFT platforms?
By the platform?
Yeah.
Maybe.
What'd you just read? He was getting his read on.
If I had to speculate, it would be from people who work at those platforms, but not the platforms themselves, right? They know, they go home, because they have some inside knowledge, and they go do something that they're aware of that no one else is really aware of. But like, is that the platform? Like, if I did something, here's a question. Like, say I work at Status and I know something's about to happen, and then I go do something that's going to potentially benefit from that happening.
Okay.
Is that the platform doing it, or is it me doing it?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Yeah, like I work for Status. I know a bunch of development. Like, say for instance, there's a development that's happening that's going to impact some other field in the industry, and before I know we release it, I go and like buy up a bunch of that field because I know it's gonna profit. Is that, or like if we do an NFT thing? Or like we operate a DEX. We don't, but like maybe we do one day. And I see a specific type of activity that's amenable to wash trading. If I go home, remote work, whatever. If I stop working and then I go participate in that wash trading by myself, is that the company doing it, or is it me doing it?
Are you an employee of the company?
Yeah.
Are you working on company time?
What does that mean in remote, decentralized workplaces where there's no like office? Like, there's no company time. I don't have hours.
I guess it depends on the way that you're compensated, right? Some people, I guess, are compensated by project completion. Some people like have work hours, right, that they report.
But that line is being significantly blurred.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Is what I'm trying to get at. Is like,
The wash trading I'm talking about, Corey, is there's this like loot collection on OpenSea, and they're just randomly generating like a list of
That
text
super fast.
equipment, and I'm curious because they're the addresses that are being traded back and forth with a lot of these randomly generated NFTs. I'm just wondering if they're
There is automated, so like they've already built like secondary automated markets for loot crates and stuff now. Like within a day, they built all kinds of crap for this loot stuff super fast.
like if I have like 100 ETH, right, and then like I price all these at like let's say 1 ETH, and as I generate them, and then I buy them with like ETH accounts that I generate, and I keep doing that to generate trade volume. I haven't really exchanged any Ethereum to anyone
You've
but
made
myself.
some fake history,
But I've made some fake history
like
of trade
artificial
volume.
value.
Sure.
That may be happening. I don't
That's
know.
that's what I'm
I
asking.
assume it's happening somewhere, but I can't point to it and say it's happening there. Like my assumption is that
It's a scam.
my assumption is happening
Jesse,
somewhere.
you are a sniper, bro. Do you snipe when you play first-person shooters?
Yeah, dude. I love opping in CS:GO. Oh, so
What is
great.
that? What is opping?
Opping? Op is the gun. It's a
Okay.
one-hit kill to the any part of the body.
He's a
That's a
who's-
stupid gun.
who thinks
I
about
know
it?
it's nutty though. It's hard to play with. but
You
yeah,
are a sniper, my friend. He was like,
I'm not a sniper.
these NFT schemes are bullshit. Somebody's washing this shit.
I'm not.
But there's been
they're
tweets about
fraction
that too,
people.
right? Like,
But wash trading exists in the normal markets too.
which is way
Pretty much-
easier here.
Yeah, pretty much anytime.
Everything's pseudonymous without KYC for some of these open markets. And
They want us to
when
trade some
you-
NFTs live.
no, he said he's
No,
going
he said
to.
he's going to. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We should do it, though.
Jeez.
Buy a bunch for like a pennies and see if we can trade them up.
That's
See
what
Look,
I'm
man,
saying.
You know,
Yeah.
you know how expensive it is to even participate. Go do it
Yeah.
on a different chain.
It's true.
Yeah.
Problem is, on a
Avalanche.
different chain, they're not worth it, right? Like,
Yeah, they're not worth anything.
like the trade,
Nobody
you have to
cares.
go where the trade volume is. Unfortunately, trade volume, as I understand it today, is on Ethereum for the most part. So, like,
spend some money to make some money.
you gotta have some capital. So I kind of want to get Julian on here. He made, what is it called? I'm gonna find it real quick. Y'all talk. I'm gonna find this thing.
Can you imagine
Well, I think-
D, if you bought a CryptoPunk for like 3 million and then you can't sell it and you need the 3 million and you're like,
You could sell it for less.
yeah,
The floor of
yeah,
CryptoPunks is really high.
I
okay,
think that
fine.
I think the NFTs in other places would be worth a lot when those chains are worth a lot. For example, Avalanche NFTs are low right now. Algorand might be able to do NFTs, but they're low price
They have
right
NFTs right now. There's a marketplace right now.
now. On
bumping.
Algorand.
It's bumping.
Yeah, so they're low priced right now.
It
but
is.
So when the volume gets there,
It is, Corey. Like legitimately.
what's Red Clip, Alicia? But when the volume gets there and Avalanche's price gets, if Avalanche turns into like a 4-digit token per, then of course, we're gonna see really expensive NFTs on Avalanche too.
I want to see integration with in-game skins and NFTs. Like I'm just waiting.
That's your shit, isn't it?
That is my shit, dude. I want to use them. I don't want to like look at them. Like, what's the point of that? I don't understand. You own
Wait for
nothing.
stats. I got you.
Just okay. Thanks.
Yeah, Blackpool Finance is what I'm talking about. So like, there's like it's a DAO dedicated to making money off NFTs. I'm trying to get Julian on the show and talk about it.
They just like you put money into the DAO. They buy NFTs and then they trade them.
Okay, see, Blackpool firmly believes in the long-term value of scarce digital assets and understands that a high level of specialization in each NFT platform is required to maximize value creation. Therefore, we will always seek to employ expertise to improve our performance in each platform. Blackpool generates cash flows and accrues value for the DAO by taking arbitrage opportunities between primary and secondary markets, loaning out assets, buying and selling assets based on news, scouting for assets that will accrue in value, and buying early, in-game competition. So it's basically like a fund
You know,
that uses a lot of, I guess, traditional finance strategies and data analytics
Yeah.
to participate in the NFT market.
The beauty of DAO and like what crypto is doing is crypto is reestablishing what was commonly known about the internet and then somehow just disappeared. And that is the beauty of anonymity, right? I think that like in the beginning of the internet, when I was first on the internet, it was just a golden rule. It was like, yeah, don't tell anyone who you are. And if you go into chat rooms, fake it. Don't let anyone know who you are, where you are, what you're doing. And then slowly over time, people have just been like, you know what? I want to put my actual DNA on the internet. And I want that to be tied to my address and that tied to my bank account. And I want to be out. Everybody can see
what
it.
could go wrong?
Everybody can see it. Nothing can go wrong there. Everybody can see it, right? And so that stupid shit that Facebook and MySpace and probably before that, Zanga, like these other social.
Why is that important?
Media.
I would
What
like
do you mean?
to
Why
talk
is that
about this.
important?
Why is it
anonymity
important? Why is privacy important? In the context that you're talking about, privacy needing to be important.
I don't know. I guess I can only speak to why it's important to me. Like,
Yeah, why is it important to you then?
My address where I live needs to be private. I don't need everybody needing to know where I live. I'm not a celebrity, right? And even like celebrities that have those tours that come around their house and stuff, and it's cool. They're getting paid for it. They don't give a shit. Like I don't need people needing to know where I live.
Why is it a big deal if people know where you live?
I get a tremendous amount of spam now based on the ledger breach because of the fact that there's open knowledge that I participate in a specific type of activity.
Yeah.
And that's usually associated with a specific amount of value and a way to contact me and send me things or spam me and try and trick me into doing things.
So it's not really like privacy is the
one
problem,
aspect, right?
It's the people are shitty people.
It's always going to be the case.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
yeah.
Like,
But privacy is only necessary because people are shitty. Then is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's when privacy or the lack of privacy is abused is when you want privacy. Like more often than not, it's the abuse of knowledge that takes place. And in almost every circumstance, when someone has overwhelming information asymmetry, it's abused. And there should be a right. It's a human right to have privacy in that I don't have to expose myself if I don't want to. I should have the option to choose what information I give to people about myself.
Yeah, like
I
don't
agree.
know.
I
This is-
agree.
And then like privacy is just like it makes you feel safe. You know,
It's not about
a
feeling safe.
feeling
It's about
of
being safe. Like when you
It's
know,
about feeling safe.
when you like, they also like it's there's a lot of
You both
there's a lot
right.
to be
You
said
feel safe and you
about-
are safe.
how you operate when you know someone is watching you. You're not allowed. It's very difficult to be yourself when you know there's a chance of repercussions for doing certain activities and you know they're being surveilled. And only in the setting of real privacy, where you have strong guarantees that who you're talking to or who you're having a relationship with is only between the people you consent to, can you truly have that relationship? Otherwise, it's tainted by the fact of it being surveilled because of that threat of what is done with the information with that, right? If someone else doesn't like what you do, they could do something. If there's a threat of that, you're less likely to do it. You're less likely to be yourself or have be your true self. And there's no way around that. If you know that you're going to be seen, you're going to act differently.
If the
If there's
people who
nothing
try
you
to
can do
scam
about that.
could be outed, right? If they weren't as anonymous, right? If you took away their privacy.
If scammers could be identified in a hot second, we'd have a lot less.
So
we'd
do
have a
you
lot
think
less
like
spamming.
what if like this is not going to happen, right? But hypothetically, if you removed everybody's right to privacy, right? And like everybody knew where you live, but scammers couldn't do scammer things because they'd be identified pretty quickly. Would that be like a
Well,
better
it's not
world?
just scamming. It's just information, right? Like it's some things are just meant to be within a specific group. Like not everyone is the exact same person with every single person they know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They do things behind closed doors that not that they're not proud of, that it's like those activities are for those special people and they're not to be shared otherwise. And so like if you make it such that nothing is private, then those types of activities go away.
What are
And that
these
doesn't have to be
activities?
illicit or bad or anything. It's just like I think that'd be a shitty world. I'm sure there's some dystopian novel written about it.
Yeah.
There
Where
has
you're
to
like
be.
completely surveilled.
One
Like,
of my main
in my
reasons
opinion, it's a
is
right.
like,
I like people should have the option to disclose information about themselves to who they want to, especially on the internet, where like the ability to take advantage of information on someone is significantly higher than in the real world, because in the real world you're limited by physical space. Someone has to come to you and do it.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm just
Yeah,
playing
the other
devil's
reason is,
advocate.
like-
I just want to note that I'm playing devil's advocate because like I don't hear enough of this type of conversation in my circles. So like
And,
it's just
like,
it's nice hearing it being talked about.
And
I
like
don't know
for
about
instance,
you guys. I like to
Right.
air dry.
yeah,
I like
right.
to hear
So-
I don't give a shit about that. Like I'm not that modest, right? Like, so I
Yeah,
don't
but-
care. Whatever.
I
That's like
need a-
sexuality isn't that big of a deal to me. But
Like-
I think, in my opinion, financial transactions are way more private than
Yeah.
seeing a scrotum.
For me, there's gotta be a upper limit on the number of people who've seen like my taint. You know, and like I can't have that be a high number. I don't know.
Why not?
So
Why
I-
can't
I
you
need-
have that? Are you not proud of it?
I mean, no, I'm a
Who's
dude.
going to take advantage? How
What
can someone
dude
take
is-
advantage of that information?
That's a slippery slope, Corey. He
What dude
wants
is
privacy. You got to give
Proud
him
of their
privacy.
taint, bro. I don't.
Oh, he has the right. I'm just saying. Who's going to take advantage of that?
There's dudes out here saying, "Look at my taint.
He's afraid.
Look at my
What are you
taint."
afraid of, man?
My taint
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
more less covered by hair than yours. I don't know.
Yeah, like
Alicia's telling me there's a few novels that address this type of stuff. It's called Private Eyes by Brian K. Vaughan, and apparently he created Y, The Last Man in Saga, is what
Private
Alicia's telling
eyes
us.
are watching you.
I'm sure there's a whole like the concept of privacy, especially in the context of the internet age, is not a new thing.
But we get less
And-
of it now with the internet.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
No
Do you
doubt
think
about
we're going to
it.
get less of it with blockchain? Like it's going to flip.
Well, I mean, let's say that blockchain in its current iteration
Yeah.
becomes the standard financial world.
Yeah.
You know how easy it is for me to de-anonymize somebody based on their financial transactions that I can see in a public ledger.
Super easy.
It's incredibly easy.
Yeah.
You know how easy it is for me to do that with cash?
Not easy at all.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that's
So then
where
crypto's not digital cash. Well, some of it is. Monero is.
it's not digital private cash. Like it. So like that's why privacy technology like zero knowledge proofs and ring signatures and things like that are being worked on so that you can add privacy to these things so that you can do the same types of financial transactions with the same level of security and openness, but with privacy so that the people who are validating these transactions don't get to know anything about the transactions themselves, only that they follow the rules.
There will always and forever be a form of cash. And I want every government not listening to my show to understand that. There will be,
I'm
bro.
not
It
going to
doesn't.
tell them.
Who's gonna tell? Like, as soon as they make it like, oh, you have to use this,
I
then
told
people
them
are
all the
gonna
time.
people are gonna be like, yo, man, you want to start trading cereal box lids? Fuck it.
I've
let's do
consulted
it.
a bunch of government agencies and people who work for the government about this type of thing because they asked my opinion. I used to educate people with clearances on how this stuff works.
And there will never.
That was my job. And it was you're not going to be able to fight the technology. It's going to exist. Like you can't. So it's like it's not about getting better at what you do in terms of using the same tools to surveil people. It's about finding new methods to get at the information you want that isn't looking at these things, because these things are going to go away. Your ability to look at financial transactions is going to go away. based on
Look.
the advent of applicable zero knowledge technology.
Yep.
It's
Governments
like
are going to
cryptography isn't going away.
be upset that they have to do good old fashioned police work again. Like, hey man, I'm a cop. Do you know that guy? No. Come on, man. Are you sure? No, I don't know.
You have a
him.
tattoo of him on your bicep. I don't
Yeah.
know that dude.
I don't know that dude. Fuck. Okay. Well, I'll come back later. Like, you're gonna do old fashioned cop work again. There is a topic that I wanted to discuss before we wrap, and that is the funny shit going on. Look, man, governments are funny. I just can't. It's a paradox at this point. Like, the SEC is. I don't know if they're suing Coinbase, but they're opening a case against them, like an investigation, because Coinbase gives 4% returns on their USDC deposits.
They're like, how is that not a security? And they're like,
Yeah.
well, we told you, we thought it wasn't, and you guys said it wasn't, so we're like, we're good, right? They're like,
Yeah.
no.
So at the end of the day, I think it was Crypto Cobain, which is such a great Twitter handle. Jesus, it is.
Picture's
Like,
good too.
Outline that, like, it's just funny now that the USDC offers more interest, it can offer more value to the people that hold it than holding the dollar. That now the SEC and putting their money in the banks, now the SEC wants to get involved and basically slap Coinbase down and say it's a security and give them a fine and this, that, and the other. But in all actuality, Coinbase isn't doing anything different than a bank would. They take your USDC deposit, they loan it out to someone else, they make a money off of the interest of that loan, and then they pay you back. Banks do that too. They just don't pay you any of the money back. They keep it all, right? Like, that's the only thing. That's
Wait,
the only
you
difference.
dropped, didn't it? It's not 4% anymore. It's like 0.0 or 0.12% or 0.0, not 0.12.
Not what it used to be.
0.12%. Something like
No, it changes though. It changes. It's dynamic, Jesse. It
that. No,
changes.
no. They dropped it, didn't they? Recently.
I don't know.
Like, you don't get the true USDC. Like, if you were to just, like, put it on ETH and not use.
If you
Coinbase.
do it through Coinbase, it's not as good as what it would be if you just do it through the contracts.
Yeah,
themselves.
they skim off the top. But what I thought I remember reading like a couple months ago was the fact that they dropped it from 4% to like something stupidly like less than 1%. They took like three.
You're right. It's
Right?
0.15%.
Yeah, see 0.15. So where's that whole 4% or 3.85?
That's because they were getting pressure from other banks that were
Or
like,
it's just got a lot bigger, so the risk is lower, which means the reward's lower. I don't know. Like,
That's true. Could be
it's
that
grown
too.
tremendously.
I just don't
Yeah.
see it going from 4% to 0.15%.
well,
because of
USDC
how
is
much.
massive.
Is
So
it?
Corey's probably right. It's probably gotten so big that the risk is so low, the returns are low.
Okay.
I don't know,
So,
but that's
at
my
the end-
speculation there.
At the end of the day, though, it's just funny that like they're like, hey, the SEC, which arguably could be there to protect our financial interests, the banks, the Fed.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you can't do what we do better than us. You can't do what we do better than us.
I mean, honestly, that is what it is, right?
That's what it feels like. Is like,
Certainly
okay,
feels that way.
so, but anyways, the return on USDC now is 0.15%. So that's much lower. Is it reading rainbow time? Did you guys hear that noise?
I heard it. I don't know where it's coming from.
Where did that noise come from?
It's my phone's
That's
notification.
a wrap.
Okay. Well, we hope that you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Once again, brought to you by Lawnmower 4.0, the nut trimmer of the century. Go to manscaped.com, fill up your shopping bag with stuff men do, and then get 25% off of that shopping.
I got my shirt here. Let me see my shirt.
Excuse me. Men don't use shopping
Man, you got a
bags.
shirt.
Men don't use shopping bags. Men use shopping carts. Fill up your shopping cart with a bunch of man stuff, including the Lawnmower 4.0. Treat your nuts like they should be treated. Buy a lawnmower, but a one that caresses your balls and doesn't chop them into bits. Corey's going to put the shirt on.
I'm not putting it on.
Oh, he's just holding
It's
it
a
up.
large. They made me a
Oh.
fucking large. I can't wear this thing. I don't want to.
How
Wait.
far to go?
Manscaped. Your
Your
balls will
balls
thank you.
Well, thank you.
Manscaped, little Manscaped action. Yeah, dude, I can't wear this thing. Look at me.
That
So,
is-
Quasi
Huge on
true
me.
story. My girlfriend's son, I gave him that shirt, and he had it on to go to school. And
No
we were
way.
Like, we were like, no, don't. Don't wear that to school. We have work to do. We can't be up at the school all damn day. So,
That's funny. You really wanted to wear it?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, he did. To
Because it
school.
was funny?
And he's
Did
in
he
middle
get it?
school. Huh?
Did he understand it?
Of course. He's
in middle school. Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he
Right.
got it.
Yeah, he got it.
Yeah. All right. Please become a patron. Go to the Patreon. I do that every week. Go to patreon.com/the Bitcoin podcast. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month. I'm gonna stop saying that too. It sounds so much like for as little as $1 a month.
For a low price.
You could feed me,
That's
Corey,
the way,
and
yeah.
Jesse.
You
For as little as-
can pay for half of a coffee.
Can you guys cry one single tear real quick so I can put for as little as $1 a month?
That's messed
You
up.
could pay for our. That is messed up. I'm sorry. You become Slack. Go join the Slack. You can also, if you're a patron, you get into the patron private channel in Slack where you get instant dingable access to Jesse, Corey, and myself, as well as Alicia, the producer, as well as some people.
So there's some alpha leaks in there apparently.
Yeah, there's alpha leaks. So me and Corey and Jesse, having been in crypto a while, we get privy to things. We hear stuff, right? We might just share it with you, and it might help your life. So there are alpha leaks in the Patreon channel, but you got to pay to get in there. So,
What?
sorry. Got to
Right there.
become a patron.
Sorry.
Boom. On your podcasting app, give us 5 mics, 5 stars, 5 hearts, 5 whatevers. If you don't want to, don't. If you're like, this is a 3-level show, I'm going to give it 3 mics, then do that. Then be that guy. But at least use some words to back up why you're a douche. You're in my mind. At least I was literally about to go on like a 1-hour diatribe about how excited I am about tomorrow. The Matrix Resurrection trailer comes out tomorrow.
Wow. They're
And
bringing it back.
I feel like Christmas Eve, bro. I'm like inside, just like shaking, I'm such a big fan.
Who showed you that?
Anyways,
Who showed you that?
I think that was you.
I did.
And then I clicked on both pills because I'm an idiot. Because that's what
I
I'm
did
doing.
too.
Like,
You click on a bunch of times. It's a bunch of different things.
how it is? It changes every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they put your timestamp in there, so it's like, is it really?
That's about it. It's about it.
Is it really 4:53 p.m.? Are you really watching this? I'm like, oh my god, I love it. I'm in the Matrix. I'm in the Matrix. So, anyways,
Oh my God.
shout out to Keanu Reeves for reprising his role and being one of the coolest dudes in Hollywood. Like, he's chill, him and Justin Timberlake would be like a perfect bro out night for me. I'd like to take them to a titty bar, talk about, philosophy, just bro out. Shout out to that guy. Shout out to Walking Dead lady. Oh man. So this dude passed away on Monday. He was in The Wire. He's a great actor. A great what's the word I'm looking for here? Not philanthropist. That's people that do stuff, give money away. What's the word for an actor? The fancy word. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Wow.
Thespian. Thank you. Alicia.
Thespian.
He was a thespian. Like, this guy could act his ass off, and he was very insightful. I think he died of an overdose. That's what they're saying. Which some artists do that. Shout out to her. Shout out to Issa Rae, doing your thing, and Ms. Zotzi Beats, doing your thing. Oh, old wide face, long neck Zoe Saldana, still out there doing your thing. And I see your new Adidas ads in Kohl's, and I'm a fan.
Mhm.
That all we got? That's it?
All right.
That looks like that's it. Play the outro.